So, Hollywood and society in general has a masculinity problem, I think, genuinely. And they seem to be proud of moving away from it. No, we can't have alpha characters. It's like, right, okay. We'll enjoy that bomb then, I guess. And as you can see here, Paul Mescal brags that Hollywood is moving away. Moving away? They've long since moved away from that. But moving away from the traditional alpha male characters that once defined it. You mean when you used to have money? When you used to actually make profit? Interesting, isn't it? This sort of, I don't know, feminization of society in general. It's not making anyone happier. It's not making anyone healthier. People are the most miserable they've ever been. Feminization has not done anything particularly pleasant to men at all. Not good. Not good. So we're going to dive into this today. This is a jump off point, I guess, for a more broad conversation about society and Hollywood and their masculinity problem and the sort of overt gynocentric nature, how everything's progressed now. So hit subscribe if you are new here. Do turn those bell notifications on. And let's try and have a nuanced conversation, I guess, about all of this. So, like I said, this article is the jump off point. I'll leave a link down below. But it says here, look, at this year's Cannes Film Festival, Gladiator 2 actor Paul Mescal might have given the most unintentionally revealing quote of the week when commenting on Hollywood and the, quote, alpha male characters that once defined it. Whilst promoting the history of sound, which is a period romance between two men in which Mescal stars alongside Josh O'Connor, the Irish actor confidently proclaimed that cinema is, quote, moving away from the traditional alpha leading male characters. Right. Well, Gladiator 2 was a failure in terms of its box office. Right? Gladiator 2 was not a success at all. Gladiator, which was absolutely unequivocally a roaring success when it came out, even in terms of its budget. Interesting how things have changed, isn't it? Interesting. You know, you can see it here, just for argument's sake, Rotten Tomatoes, 87, 80. So pretty good, actually. Pretty good. We go to Gladiator 2. 82 and 70. But not a lot of people watched it. 10,000 plus verified ratings. We go to Gladiator. I mean, it's going to have ridiculous sums. 250,000. Right, oh, okay. And if we go to Gladiator 2 box office, well, it didn't do very well, did it? $462.2 million worldwide, with a reported budget somewhere in the region of $300 million. It's not exactly good, is it? Not exactly good. Devastatingly crap, actually. Now, I'm not going to say that Gladiator 2 was feminine. I'm certainly not going to say it was masculine either, though. You know, if you put Paul Mescal in a room with Russell Crowe back in his day, I think we can all say who was the more masculine, just on aesthetics. And this moving away from traditional male alpha characters, why? It's not helped you. So Mescal's remarks came during a press conference for The History of Sound, which is a film set in 1919. It follows two men who travel New England recording folk music whilst discovering a romantic bond. So they just get it on, basically. It's kind of Brokeback Mountain stuff. So Mescal quickly dismissed lazy and frustrating, basically like a comparison to Brokeback Mountain, though he did admit, almost comically, that the only real similarity was that they spent a little time in a tent. Pfft. Amazing. I personally don't see the parallels at all, Mescal said, to the laughter of the press corps. Brokeback is a beautiful film, but it is dealing with the idea of repression. I find those comparisons relatively lazy and frustrating. Our film is a celebration between these men's love, not the repression of their sexuality. And we'll scroll through this a little bit more. You know, as he starts to talk about this nonsense of masculinity, there's a microcosm to our relationship that I think of Josh and I think of Jolly Ranchers. Just nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I mean, this, Pedro Pascal, because he's here in this, is a great jump-off point, as you can see here as well. The type of men that are celebrated in Hollywood and glorified and put up on a pedestal are the type of men that would, quite frankly, just break. They would just break. All right? They are nothing. And this feminization of Hollywood and society, this comically, as he talks about repression, talks about Brokeback Mountain and their sexual repression, there is and then literally on the other hand starts talking about masculinity and alpha males. That's a repressive approach. It's a repressive approach of masculinity. Masculinity is what has led to society being what it is, right? It's what built the Western world and is now subsequently building the sort of, the other world, the Eastern worlds, the third worlds, these kind of things. And the Western world is what it is thanks to masculinity. But it is being repressed by this overt, because it is just blatant now, feminization. Everything is swapped out for a woman. And even if they are men, you deal with this pleb. I mean, Jesus. Anyone that thinks this guy's masculine, Pedro Pascal, you need to get your face checked. Get your eyes checked. And it's sad, Here's a great example. Even if you do have a traditionally masculine character, you bring him back, they have to make a mockery of him. Generally, broadly, they become a mockery. This guy, Arnold Schwarzenegger, in Terminator Dark Fate, became a family man and made drapes. So even the traditional alpha male characters that we once had as cultural icons, I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't get much more alpha male as a cultural icon. He's the bodybuilder, right? Outside of the likes of Vince Gironda, Dave Draper, things like that, but he is the bodybuilder, the quintessential alpha male. They even make a mockery of him. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, is that no one is happier as a result of all of this. In fact, people are the most miserable that they have ever been. Statistically, we can look at stats. Everyone is miserable because everyone is being repressed. Women are being forced into a box of being alphas, working for businessmen that hate them. Why would you do that? Now, I'm not going to say that it's not right for any women. Well, all women. It would be right for some, of course. But men, just being vilified. Anything masculine, not celebrated. Not celebrated. But we'll be the ones that you turn to when war breaks out. Sad. Hollywood has a masculinity problem, as does society.